But you know what? I can't find the question, but we're going to use it as a prompt. Like, what was the most concerning thing of the first half? We'll just say the most concerning thing of the whole game, and that was the missed tackles and the sloppy as hell lackadaisical play. Like, that's not good. It's not good. It's preseason. I said this a couple times on the stream. It's preseason. Doesn't matter. Like, if you look at the full context of this, you look at the bird's eye view, like, who cares? Who gives a shit, right? At the same time, when you see the Steeler uniform out there, when you see the black and gold out there, when you see the Steeler helmet out there, you see the logo out there, if you have the option of you'd rather see good play from the Steeler side of things or bad play, I'd rather see good play. And we didn't see good play for the majority, if not most of this game. But somehow we got out of the stadium with a 19-10 win. We won by 2 scores. Crazy. Like, who would have thought? Honestly, throughout the course of watching this game, I'm thinking to myself, oh, we're getting blown out. We're down 10-0. As we're getting close to halftime, oh, we're down like 14-0. We're down 20-0. Third quarter, oh, we're down like 20-7. But no, every time I looked up, we're winning the game. That's because we did make some timely plays, like that bomb to Scotty Miller before half got us an extra 3 points. The pick by James Pierre as the Panthers were driving, that helped us. So it was a weird game where, like, we looked god-awful, but we still won 19-10. And I'll say this, specifically about the first half. Going to that comment that was there, then disappeared, like, what concerned you most about the first half, is that we played the starters. Like, I'm not too big on that. I'm not the biggest fan of it, especially if the priority for this 2025 season going into week 1 is just get to that Jets game healthy. Get to that Jets game fully healthy. So playing guys like Joey Porter Jr., Darius Slay, Jalen Ramsey. You saw Muth out there for a decent portion of the first half. Who else? Who else was out there? I think, wasn't Deshaun Elliott out there for a minute? I think you saw, like, tentative play. I think you saw JPJ, specifically him, because he whiffed on a tackle. You saw some of the players out there, some of the starters, guys that were expecting to play serious minutes, have serious impact in the regular season, play tentatively. Focus more on not getting hurt rather than making the play and playing football. If that's the case, then just don't play him at all. Because that's how injuries happen. Is whenever you're playing tentatively, your mind's focused on not getting injured, and then something stupid happens. So I would have rather us not played anyone of note versus what we did. But at the end of the day, we got all those guys out of there healthy, and it looks like they're going to be ready to go, except for Derrick Harmon. But there's nothing that we could have done about that. There's no regret that we should have with Derrick Harmon because he's a rookie. Like, you're a rookie, you're going to play in preseason. It's just really unlucky. Now, my question is, what's the injury? Does anyone have confirmation yet? Do we have any updates in the chat right now? Because we've been going through the whole stream talking about Derrick Harmon's injury, and it went from season-ending ACL to MCL to it's just a knee injury, back to ACL, season-ending. Some of you guys are saying season over, we're cooked, we're cursed. And then we see Derrick Harmon on the sidelines chopping it up with Cam Hayward. Do we have any confirmation on what the injury is right now? He might be out for a little bit. Maybe he's out for the first couple weeks. My guess is, based off the sideline shot, he might miss the first like 2 or 3 weeks. That's my guess. With him being back out there talking with Cam Hayward, seemed like the energy was decent enough. 2 to 3 weeks. So it's not as bad as we thought. That's my report. Not as bad as we thought. After not seeing any official reports on Twitter, only reading the chat and what you guys have to say, and watching Derrick Harmon come back on the sidelines. 4 to 5 week injury, might miss the first 2 to 3 weeks of the regular season. You're right. I mean, it was a scary situation. He'll be fine, but scary situation. But it's nothing that I don't think it's anything that we can do about it. Playing Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Joey Porter Jr., some of those other starters in this game, that's something that it comes down to Tomlin. You're making a decision on it. You're weighing the risks and rewards. Derrick Harmon, you're not even thinking. He's a rookie. You're playing him. Kaleb Johnson, he's a rookie. You're playing him. You're trying to get him as much like NFL in-game experience, even if it is the preseason, as possible heading into the regular season. You got to earn that, right? You got to earn it. You can't be, at that point, as a rookie, you can't be above preseason games. You got to put in the work, even though it is preseason, even though it's meaningless, even if you were a first-round pick, even if you were a top pick, we have high expectations for you, you got to be out there. So it just sucks, especially looking back to Fautanu missing all of last season, looking back to a bunch of these rookies that we've been high on, even Roman Wilson last year, Calvin Austin going back a couple years ago, having to miss their rookie seasons, and you're just like, damn, that's a lost season. That sucks. A little bit of Will Howard this year. I don't know what's going to happen, especially after Skylar Thompson had another good outing today. We're not cutting Will Howard. We are not cutting Will Howard. I don't know what's going to happen with Skylar Thompson, though. All right, I got to take this Zen out. I'm not a big Zen guy. I can't keep it in for like too long. Nothing crazy. That's 3 mgs. How long did I even have it in? Probably like 10 minutes. Like, this is literally on record. I threw the Zen in before the post-game report. Had to take it out. Can't do it for too long. Yeah, what I'm thinking is this. With Will Howard, we're going to put him on IR, start the season, and keep Skylar Thompson as like the emergency third quarterback. We're going to push off the decision. That's all. We're going to get 4 weeks, and then Will Howard's going to come back off of IR, and it's either we're going to trade Skylar, see what the landscape is around the league, who needs a backup quarterback, who could use a Skylar Thompson, see if we could trade him. Now, some of you guys are saying trade Mason or cut Mason and keep Skylar as the backup, and our QB room will be Rodgers, Skylar Thompson, and Will Howard. I'm not on that. I'm not on that, and we could get into that a little bit later. I'm way more pro Mason Rudolph than Skylar Thompson. But my guess is this. We'll keep Skylar Thompson around, put Will Howard on IR for the first 4 weeks, push off the decision. Because we're not keeping 4 quarterbacks. It's stupid. If you're actually trying to win for the here and now, you don't keep 4 quarterbacks. It's just ridiculous. And then after week 4, we'll assess the situation, see where Will Howard is, see what the landscape around the league is. Do we trade Skylar Thompson? Or do we put Will Howard on season-ending IR and keep Skylar, Mason, Rodgers as our QB room for the year, but then also keep Will Howard and know that he could potentially be the future for year 2 and going forward? I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of that, because then Will Howard can't take reps. But then my question is this. You guys might be able to answer this better than me. How many reps would Will Howard be getting anyway throughout the course of the season in a practice setting with us already having Aaron Rodgers here? If it's not much, then maybe you do the IR thing. But if he's actually going to get reps and can learn and do some real active stuff throughout practice and be under the tutelage of Rodgers, then I think you got to unlock Howard from IR. I think you're going to have to. We're just going to push off the decision. That's my guess. I think that would be a smart thing to do. Okay, hold on. Tomlin, right now, post-game report or post-game interview for Tomlin. I got it in my earbud. He said Derrick Harmon knee sprain. Does that go hand in hand with my timeline? Out maybe the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. Out for – because we have 2 weeks in between now and the regular season even starts. So he might be out for a month. Might miss the first 2 or 3 weeks of the regular season. That sounds about right. Knee sprain? That's my guess. Dr. Deke. Big A21, McCollum needs cut, and Sermon played great. I don't think we're cutting McCollum. I'll be honest. I wasn't locked in on McCollum's play today. But he was good for us last year when he stepped in for Frazier. I think he's one of our better backup offensive linemen. We're keeping McCollum. Sermon played great. Sermon did have a good game. I like Lou Nichols better, though, than Sermon. Lou Nichols. He's one of my top preseason players. We'll get into that a little bit later, too. Lou Nichols was one of my top preseason players. I would love to keep him. I don't think we can, just with the nature of cuts needing to be made. You only have 53. We already have 3 good running backs with Gainwell, Caleb Johnson, and Jalen Warren. I don't think there's room for him. But I would take Lou Nichols over Sermon. Sermon did play good, though. Had a lot of penalties, but now it's time for the regular season. Can't wait. Yeah, and that, honestly, you could add the penalties in the mix, too, with our sloppy play, particularly in the first half. A lot of penalties. Just honestly, how did we win 19-10? Just awful play all around. But we were playing the Panthers, so that actually does make sense. We played god-awful, had a ton of penalties, sloppy, missed tackles, but we played the Panthers, and in particular the Panthers' second and third team. That's how we won the game. That's how we won the game by 9. There you go. Actually, whenever you add everything up, do the equation, there you go. It makes more sense than I even thought. Absolutely. Other things about this game. Let me think. Let me look at my notes here. Yeah, since Harmon's good, I was going to get into, like, how are we going to replace Harmon? But I think he's going to be good. For the time being, though, if it's short term, he missed the first couple weeks, I think Y.A. Black gets some more reps. Cam Hayward's going to get some more reps early on than maybe we would expect in his old age. Because I think with Cam Hayward right now, he's more on a pitch count. You want him healthy and as good to go late in the regular season and going into the playoffs. But maybe to start the season with no Derrick Harmon, we're going to ask Cam to step it up a little bit. Let's give him his money. Make him happy. The vibes will be high. The energy will be there. And I think he'll give us some extra burst, some extra juice those first 2-3 weeks of the season if we do that. Let's give him his extra $4 or $5 million and get on with it. That's how we replace Derrick Harmon. Y.A. Black looked good, man. He looked really good. This game looked good. First game of preseason. He's another one of my preseason stars. So let me just get into that. Preseason stars. Top 5 favorite preseason players. Lou Nichols. I mean, every time he gets the ball, he makes something happen. I get it. It's late in the game, but he's also dealing with our third-string offensive line. He's also dealing with our third-string receivers being out there and not really posing much of a threat to the defense. Always having good vision, always making lanes for himself. And when there's no lanes, he's falling forward, throwing some extra physicality out there. You look at his stat lines every game. It's really good yards per carry. It's explosiveness. He's catching passes out the backfield, helping the quarterback out. Lou Nichols, probably my favorite player from this Steelers preseason. And it's funny because I was kind of shitting on him after the first preseason game. I was like, this dude ain't even going to make the team. This don't even matter. He looked good out there. I couldn't even remember his name. I think I called it. I said it was Lou Nichols initially, but then as the post-game report kept going, people were bringing him up in the chat. I was like, who's that? Oh, 35. Yeah, 35. I think I mentioned him earlier. He ain't making the team. But then balled out last preseason game. Did it again this one. Y.A. Black has been consistently a stud throughout, looking like an absolute steal of a 5th-round pick. Might play some serious snaps for us. And that's even with Derrick Harmon coming back healthy. Because Y.A. Black has that extra physicality that I don't think Derrick Harmon has. I mean, Harmon possesses it. Don't get me wrong. He was a first-round pick for a reason. He has physicality. We saw his sack from last preseason game. He actually didn't play that bad in this one either. There's physicality, but Y.A. Black, a different beast, different monster in terms of that category. Harmon, more versatile, play him kind of across the line of scrimmage there. Can do various different things. But Y.A. Black, man, watch out. Watch out. Might have some impact this year. And then my 3, 4, 5. As much as I'd hate to admit it, Skylar Thompson. Dude, he balled out. Preseason, he balled out. What can you say? The bomb to Scotty Miller right before halftime set us up for 3. I don't think he made any bad plays. Even the pick last week, that wasn't on him. That was on the receiver. It clanged off his hands and ended up going to the other team. I got to give the dude credit. He looked good in preseason. So if we're just talking about preseason standouts, favorite players from the preseason, Skylar Thompson. But if we're talking about being QB2, if we're talking about trust in the regular season, if Rodgers goes down, don't even start with Skylar Thompson. Please do not. We're going with Mason Rudolph. We're going with Mason. Because as much as we could maybe talk about, what have you done for me lately? What's the tape look like recently? And Skylar Thompson, I guess we could say outplayed Mason this preseason. I'm going to hang my hat more on what have you done in the regular season when games have actually mattered, and Mason Rudolph washes Skylar Thompson in that department. And if you want to just talk about straight-up talent too, Mason washes Skylar Thompson in that department. So Mason is still our backup. There's no QB2 controversy, competition, anything like that. But Skylar Thompson did play good. He's not the better option over Mason Rudolph. In fact, if we get to the point of him actually playing, I'm looking elsewhere. I'm definitely looking elsewhere. 4th and 5th preseason standouts. Jack Sawyer played good today. Do we put him in the preseason standouts, though? Favorite preseason players? I feel like he was kind of invisible the first 2 games. Showed up in this one. But even in this one, when they were showing his highlights, they popped him up in that 4th quarter. They were like, oh, Jack Sawyer had a good game. I was like, what? He did? Really? Seemed kind of quiet, but whenever they pulled him back up, I'm like, all right, yeah, that did happen. But he was just in the midst of a lot of other Steeler players that he didn't stand out. So we'll give him his props for this one. I don't know if we say full preseason standout. Listen, if Rock Taylor was still around, maybe we'd include him in this. I got to say Scotty Miller. Now, I don't know if he qualifies necessarily for this because he's been up to this point a legitimate player in the NFL, and like there's certain expectations you have for Scotty Miller. Like, yeah, you should do good in preseason games if given the opportunity. But still, he's on the bubble. He's on the roster bubble, and he's been awesome. And he's an Aaron Rodgers target favorite based off the training camp reports. And he really showed up in these preseason games. I think he's got his spot locked up. I think he's legitimately, with the roster the way that it is, our 4th receiver. I mean, with Calvin Austin being hurt, he's our 3rd receiver. It's DK, it's CA, it's Roman Wilson, and Scotty Miller. And maybe it's a debate between Roman Wilson and Scotty Miller. Who's more of Aaron Rodgers' preference there? But, I mean, Roman Wilson would be another name to bring up because he showed up in these preseason games as well. Despite the mixed commentary coming out of camp with him, he's played really good, and I feel like he's going to have a role for this team in 2025. So do I include anyone else? You know what? I'm going to throw in Kaleb Johnson. Pierre had a pick today. I'm trying to think of anyone else off the top of my head. Actually, you guys let me know in the chat. Who would be like your last player for preseason standouts? So we'll give Scotty Miller that 4th spot. I think he's performed better than Roman Wilson in totality of these preseason games. Who would be the 5th? I'm thinking between Roman Wilson. I'm liking Kaleb Johnson. He impressed me again today. I think he ran even better than last week. He's improved every game. First week, he looked a little bit tentative. Second week, upon further review, I thought he ran good. I thought he ran with intention, ran with purpose, looked more confident. What do you have? 11 carries, 50 yards in the last preseason game. And then this one, we saw Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell get the first snaps at running back. And then when Kaleb Johnson went in there, I didn't feel like there was a drop-off in speed or explosiveness. And Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell are known for that. They're known for their speed. But then you add that Kaleb Johnson is like 6 foot 240 or something. That could be dangerous. I think he looked really good today. I think as the course of the preseason, whenever you tell the whole story of Kaleb Johnson's preseason, he gets a positive report. I give him a thumbs up. So would he be 5 for me? I'm seeing Peyton Wilson. Yeah, I'd say his 1st and 3rd game were definitely better than his 2nd. He's flying out around there. I mean, he's doing his thing. Standout, preseason standout though. Preseason star, favorite preseason player. Do we throw Peyton Wilson in there? It might be Kaleb Johnson for me. Mark Robinson, James Pierre. James Pierre was getting cooked too much in the earlier preseason games, I feel like, to be a preseason standout. I'm not seeing any other good suggestions here. Malik Harrison, yeah, he was pretty good. I mean, we know Malik Harrison's making the team, though. We know what he is. He's been a good player for the Ravens. for 4 or 5 years. Yeah, Malik Harrison's been good. Cole Holcomb wouldn't be a bad mention. Trey Sermon, no, because I'm taking Lou Nichols over Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon played good today. First 2 games, though, I know he got that touchdown in the second game, but a couple yard run for the score. All right. I think I'm going Kaleb Johnson for my 5th guy. So my top 5 preseason standouts for the 2025 preseason, 2025 edition. Lou Nichols, Y.A. Black, Skylar Thompson, Scotty Miller, and Kaleb Johnson. That's my official list. That's my official 5. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. Let me see what other notes I got. That might be it. Actually, that might be it. That might be it. That's all I got for you guys. For my post-game report. Punter competition, I was not paying attention to it at all. I just saw the first 2 punts. That was it. So you guys are going to have to give me an assessment on that. Anyone got any insightful takes before we log off here? James Pierre needs to go. I don't think he's leaving, especially after this pick. And the fact that he provides special teams and that he's been around the block, familiar with the system, familiar with the Steelers, I think he's sticking around. If you're talking about that last spot in the secondary room being between James Pierre, Dante Kent, and Corey Trice, I think it's going to be James Pierre. Like, we'll try to keep Corey Trice around. Like, we might cut him, bring him back on practice squad. But it might be that time, bro. It's just, you are what you are, injury prone. Going back to Purdue, dealt with injuries. That's what knocked him down to the 7th round and why we were able to grab him. But then in the pros, that's always been. It's unfortunate, too, because the upside's off the charts. Hurt again, though. Availability does count for something. James Pierre's available. James Pierre helps out on special teams. James Pierre could be your CB5. James Pierre could play a few snaps in the secondary and not absolutely kill you if he's got good help around him. If he's got no help and he's like your number 1 or number 2, that's a different story. But as your CB5 and he can give you special teams, I think the Steelers and Tomlin are going to hang their hat on that going into the regular season versus Corey Trice or Dante Kent. Speak on the Muth trade. I've said too much about the Muth trade. No, I'm good. No, it's not happening. Muth's here. I don't need to address this again. Wow, I don't know about this. Have Antoine Blake replace Pierre. I don't know about that. I think I'd go Pierre. Oh, wow. This is hilarious. Okay, so the 2 punts that I saw them punt were literally their only 2 punts. They each punted once. Waitman for 35 yards, Johnson for 33. So of those 2 punts, let me give you my take. Johnson's punt was better. He had the short yard punt. Like, we were in their zone, and he had to stick it within the 10, which is what he did. The Panthers punt returner caught it, though, and our coverage wasn't there. He ran it for a good 10 yards, got it back to the 20. So it felt like Johnson's punt was better, and the coverage was bad. But I don't know. Did the punt not have enough hang time, which led to the bad coverage? I don't know exactly. I'm not a punting expert there. It looked like Johnson's punt was better than Waitman's, though, because Waitman, his opportunity was one that he needed to boom down there. Like, there was no finesse to it at all. It's like, boom it down there, get it within the 20, flip the field, and he shanked it, and Panthers got a good field position at like the 30. So if you're just going based off those 2, Johnson had the better, and you also got to factor in we're giving Johnson the bigger contract. Like, we paid Johnson, $3 million a year, 3 years, $3 million a year. Like, that might have to weigh in too. I think he was the front runner coming into this thing. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to their battle the first 2 preseason games, though. And I don't know what the reports are coming out of training camp, who's the winner. It seems like it's been neck and neck. It's been close as hell. My guess would be Johnson gets it. That would be my guess. Anything else? What did I miss? Anything else? I think I covered it all. 5 biggest losers of the preseason. I don't know if I'm prepped for that. 5 biggest losers. I don't know. Robert Woods. Corey Trice. There's 2. I don't know. Who else? Those are the 2 off the top of my head. I guess you throw Dante Kent in there. He just didn't play. We didn't see him. That might be it. I can't think of 5. What was up with the Jaylen Warren fumble? Going back to the first half, going back to the starters playing. Come on, dude. Why'd you have to do that? Beanie was on the bubble. I think Beanie's making it. My money's on Beanie's making it. He wasn't perfect, but I thought he played good enough. Played good enough, and then what he did for us last year, come on. Beanie's making it. Yeah, I guess you could throw Will Howard in. But Will Howard, he's good. Like, we're not cutting him. You know what I mean? In terms of, like, roster spot on the line, being a loser, Will Howard's fine. We're not cutting him. He's going to be on the team, whether that's IR, long-term IR, or short-term IR, long-term IR. He's going to be on the team. The same thing with Calvin Austin. Like, we could bring up Calvin Austin. We haven't seen him, but Calvin Austin, his spot's fine. His role, is it going to be up for debate, especially when the regular season starts? Especially if Rodgers built more rapport with Roman Wilson and Scotty Miller. There's a case for that. All right, I couldn't think of 5 losers. If you got some other guys to think of, drop it in the chat. But that's it, man. That's it. This was good, man. We got the full live stream. Got a little post-game report that I could repurpose. I appreciate you guys for sticking around too. That's gonna make my day a lot easier tomorrow. Because I think I covered everything I would have brought up tomorrow anyway by doing a new video. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, stay tuned for more content, man. Season's only starting. This was fun. Shout out to the 500 likes on the YouTube video earlier today. And we'll do more of this. We'll definitely be doing more of this. Stay tuned. We're week to week, though. In terms of game day content, we're week to week in terms of like what to expect. Is it going to be a full live stream for the game? Is it going to be a live stream after? Is it going to be I'm at the stadium and I give you a vid after that? We'll see. Stay tuned. It's going to be week to week. But I'm out of here. Stay chilling. Here we go, Steelers. Peace.